obviously gem and minerals, the jewelry, and the crazy swords that I make. And they came to the booth and they purchased shungite from me. And they purchased quite a bit, a large quantity, as they do, because that's what Shop LC does. We have millions of viewers on our platform between the live stream and the live TV. Whoa, I'm on a cruise ship. Whoa! We were just moving the phones. We're moving the cameras, folks. Okay. So they came to me to purchase some shungite, and I had stitchite. I had a bunch of other stones that were sort of unusual that a lot of people didn't have. So they did a quick video of me and asked me about the stones, and then through that, they approached me and asked me to come do an event called Gem Fest here at Shop LC. And through that, after coming out here once a month for a year for an event speaking about gemstones, they asked me if I'd come aboard as a TV host and sell other things other than gem decor. I thought about it for a long time, and I decided, sure, why not? I need a new chapter in my life. It's exciting. I love the company. It's a great company to work for. Everybody that works here is super nice, and it just, you don't usually step into I'm going to call it the family like that, starting a new position. So they brought me on board, making me feel very welcome. And I am setting up the show every Tuesday to do a gem decor related. Could be, I'm going to throw some jewelry in there because a lot of you viewers out there maybe don't want a labradorite for your house. Maybe you want a cool labradorite necklace, beaded or whatever. So like I said, the merchandise is going to consistently change. I'll offer this some stuff every week because some of it's I'm going to call my standard, which means that the prices are incredibly low, and I'd like to be able to offer that whether you've seen it before. You might all of a sudden decide you've ordered one and then you want 5 or you want a couple more for gifts. So we will constantly rotate the stock, but bring in the pieces that are my favorites, and I always, every show, pick 2. I pick a affordable favorite, and then I just pick a selfish favorite. So I've already picked out my 2 today, and as I go through the 16 or 17 pieces we have, I will obviously tell you which one's my favorite. So I'm going to start with our largest labradorite, and this bad baby is labradorite, and I'm going to show you the beautiful labradorite shilling on this. Okay, this is going to be what, if you've just tuned in for the first time, in the comment column, if you're interested in buying this, the price on this right now is going to be, is it 25% off what I have on my sheet?
No.
Okay.
Typically, what's on your sheet is like the estimated price, and then a lot of times it's going to be lower on the website.
Okay. So our price on the website, is this correct?
Yes, that's
so,
correct.
And then there's an additional 25%
Yes.
off that? Okay. So, and I'm asking because this is my director-producer, and he's feeding me all the information because Shop LC, sometimes at Shop LC, prices do change according to what day of the week it is. I don't know. But they change prices, and guess what? It's usually in your favor. Okay, so this starts out at $97.49. That's a clearance price that we have on our website. So if you go on the web, you're going to see this stone listed for $97.49. Now, I'm holding that stone still so you folks out there can really get a good look at it. So what's going to happen when you put in Live 25 at the promo code when you go to checkout? This is going to bring this stone down to ta-da, $73.11. Okay, now the carat weight is estimated. This is called a large piece, and the reason the carat weight is estimated is because they're raw polished stones. And I mean raw these are not heat treated, they're not faceted. They're just basically polished as a home decor piece. The bottom's flat. The carat weight on this is roughly 13,607. So for $73.11, in order for you to buy this, right where it says write a comment, right there, I'm pointing with my finger, you will type in shop 1, shop, S-O-P, and then the number 1, and that will all of a sudden link you, is that right? There will be linked to the area that you can actually purchase this.
Correct.
So when you start to fill that out, make sure where it says promo code, you put in LIVE25, L-I-V-E 25, and that will give an additional 25% off this piece. and anything else that I'm showing you today on the Gem Decor show. Okay, let's talk labradorite a little bit. First of all, this was discovered in Labrador, Canada in the late 1700s. I'm going to roughly, you can Google fact me if you want. My brain does not hold every year something was discovered, but roughly 1780. And what happened was it was discovered in Labrador, Canada, and then as soon as it was discovered, they cut it out of the ground, picked it out. They didn't have electric saws then, so very, very difficult to get out of the ground. And they basically brought big chunks of it and they sent it over to Europe to be cut and polished for jewelry. And that's how labradorite sort of hit the market. It wasn't stones in that particular time period in the 1700s. Think about United States. We didn't have a United States. Or what we did was not the wealthy elite weren't living here then. The wealthy elite were living over in England that was established hundreds of years before that, and Rome thousands before that. So that's why the stones left Canada, because at that time the United States didn't have a draw for jewelry or gems and minerals, not of this stature. This would go to the elite, to the semi-wealthy, So anyway, so it was brought over to England. So through the years, labradorite has always been a very, very popular stone. It's a feldspar type of mineral. It has, and you can see, this is called shilling on the surface of this. So this has those flashes of reds, blues, greens, and this particular rock, it aids in protection. So now I'm going to speak about sort of the metaphysical properties a little bit. I've given you the history of where it was discovered. Canada sort of ran out of labradorite. It was harder and harder to get. So now actually the stones, the majority of stones that I'm going to show you are mined in Madagascar. And Madagascar has become, like Brazil, the mecca in the world for gem decor. Brazil is known for gemstones, faceted and into jewelry. Madagascar has become known as the gem decor, which are your home, your amethyst geodes, your labradorites, all the stuff behind me that I'm going to show you. The majority of this material is from Madagascar. And Madagascar is really an interesting, really rugged terrain that there are areas that are just trees and rocks, and it cascades down to the sea. Really rough terrain. Like you can't go over there and just think you're going to go over and mine some stones. So I see Donna's in. Hello, Donna. So anyway, Madagascar, rough terrain, but $73.11, this giant labradorite cut on the bottom. Now, this is a stone, like I said, of this, this actually, by the front door, will produce harmony. So it removes negativity. It's also a stone that boosts your self-confidence a little bit. So if you need a little bit boosting in that area, maybe you're feeling you're not good enough, life is passing you by, maybe a piece of labradorite in that, in your life will boost that confidence and make you feel a little bit more secure, a little bit ready to tackle the world. This is one of my favorite stones as far as beautification of your home. This and amethyst and citrine are the three most popular because they actually draw you in. You look at them, you see this great shilling effect. It's something that is super beautiful, and it just could remind you of monarch wings on a butterfly. It could remind you of the aurora borealis, which that's another legend with this stone. The Vikings discovered this, and they saw it in the ground, and they thought the earth had sucked in the aurora borealis. And so they smashed their Viking staffs on the ground to release the aurora borealis up back into the sky. And, with every stone, there's a lot of myths, there's a lot of folklore, there's a lot of legend, and there's a lot of history. So when we talk about the metaphysical properties of stones, it's because these stones, through history, have been used for certain things, just like any of the drugs that you take from Big Pharma. Most of those drugs were created from something from the earth originally, and then they synthesized it, they changed it, they mixed it with they made their cocktails to make a drug that, that we ingest. But in the old days, think about it, people discovered penicillin was, off the mold from cheese. So stuff has been discovered. I'm sure there was a lot of guinea pigs out there that died, but through that, it created stuff that actually, changed our lives to make people healthier. So this labradorite has been discovered for over like 300 years at this point. I love this stone. It can stand direct sun. That's another thing that's great about labradorite. Your other geode crystals, your citrine and your amethyst geodes, cannot be put out in direct sunlight. The crystals will turn white and you'll lose all that beautiful purple color. So just giving you a heads up, if you have those, they can be put in a house with sunlight on them, but putting them outside in a garden or Florida sun or Texas sun, anywhere you have really harsh direct sunlights, it will fade those. Labradorite, it will not fade. This stone is this is that warrior stone. That's why I say it gives you strength and courage. And it does. This stone makes you feel powerful. You hold it, it makes you feel like you have power. And, that self-confidence is all part of it. That's a power boosting, amulet. And people wore this as amulets, as pendants, in breast shields of their warrior suits, in jewelry, so it's been used throughout the last few hundred years, and it still captivates people. Just that chilling effect is something that people really, really enjoy looking at, and that's why now it's made its way into the home decor market. Okay, so we are going to move on to our second stone. Ooh, I love this. Okay, so let's give these the correct amount of time, because this is something also that's super cool. Okay, this would be shop 2 in your comment. Right there, write a comment. Over here, you put shop 2. Hello, Anna. I'm going to see you at Gem Fest. I just had a conversation today with our staff about you coming to Gem Fest. Okay, so ammonite pears and what they are. This is a fossil, all right? This was found originally all over the world during the Jurassic era. These were a squid-like creature. This is one ammonite. Okay, we've actually sliced this in half. So this would swim along upright. And are you pulling up the squiddy?
Okay.
Yeah, will you pull up the squiddy in the back? So we're going to pull up a picture of this creature, how it looked billions of years ago. So these are roughly between 60 to 240 million years old. And that is, if you ever want a piece of the world's history, I've seen these really large size, tractor trailer size, in museums throughout the country. The Smithsonian, a lot of your bigger Boston Science Museum, a lot of your really big museums have these great geodes and fossils, dinosaur bones, because that's part of the Earth's history. Okay, right there is our squiddy creature. We'll call him Fred. All right, there's Freddy swimming along, swimming. So as Freddy grew, he started out probably the size of the circle between my finger, in a little teeny shell. And as Freddy grew, he would actually move his little body. This is the center. You put one down, so I'm going to get my pen to be a pointer. Okay, so here's Freddy in the center. As Freddy grew, this would be Freddy, maybe week 1. There's Freddy week 2, week 3, week 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe this is Freddy after a month. Then you go into the second month. Then the third month. And you can see these chambers are getting larger and larger. So what's happened to this particular ammonite is that as Freddy grew, he actually closed off the chamber behind him and moved into the next chamber, which he sealed, and it became encapsulated with water that was already in the ocean, and probably particles, minerals, something, dust, dirt. And because it's now sealed in a chamber, other stuff grows. And in particular, ammonites have this crystallized stone is called agranite. So this ammonite has created a fossil. This is your fossil shell. And then in those little pockets, that is going to be aragonite. Now, this is going to be on clearance. This is, these are called an ammonite pear, and these are listed as the 5 to 6 inch. And the reason we listed them 5 to 6 inch, what do you think? Let's see. 4.5 inches. Okay, so your ammonite pear, because you're going to get 2, are going to be between 5.5 to 6 inch. All right. So you don't just get one, you get two. You get the pair because this little Freddie, we called him Freddie. We took Freddie after he fell down. He swims like this. Maybe he got eaten by, a big giant shark that yanked Freddie out of his shell. And then what happened is this shell floats down, lands in the bottom of the ocean. So that's why I said these are found all over the world. But what happened, anytime something falls onto the bottom floor of the ocean, it immediately, just with the force of that falling, this becomes covered with sand. So it had a layer of sand immediately on it. And then through time, hurricanes, tidal surges, that layer of sand got built up and built up and built up and built up. So our little Freddie could actually be now 3 feet underground, laying flat, encased in sand. So in order to retrieve all these little Freddies all over the entire world, a lot of times they were first discovered on inlets, like shallow water would go into an inlet. And then maybe a tidal surge, like a hurricane that comes in. I lived in Florida for 25 years. So what happens is when you have an 8-foot tidal surge of water that siphons into a bay, a channel, the beach, that amount of water is so overwhelming that when it hits the shoreline and beyond, then it has to go back out to the ocean. It will eventually recede. What's it doing? It's pulling all that sand that has been covering Mr. Freddie for 60 million years, and then all of a sudden, there's Freddie. There's a piece of Freddie sticking up out of the beach sand. And so somebody went and picked it up and said, oh my God, it's some kind of fossil. Well, obviously it is a fossil. And then, they went through, that, and that story is, I'm sort of making that up. That's not like, it's in books, but that's probably how it was discovered. And then what happened was we, as humans who have, electrical equipment at this point, what happens when you see a box? You want to open it. What's inside? I got to know what's inside. Okay, that's what they did with Freddie. They cut poor Freddie open. Now, Freddie was already a stone. His organic matter had become fossilized, and those little chambers had another stone in them called aragonite. So our little Freddie right now is on our clearance site at Shop LC, and he is listed at $111.99. But today on the live stream, $83.99 when you put in Live 25 in that promo code box. So if you want a set of Freddies, now remember it comes in a pair. This was one that we cut down. So this is between 60 to 240 billion years old. This was million? I think it's million years old. This happened before any, all the changes in the Earth's crust and everything. So this remained buried under oceans and under sand for all those years. And then we are able, with machinery, come to extract this. But with the Industrial Revolution and the machinery and everything that we're able to use to extract things, comes also the part that a machine goes in, it can't feel around and go, this shell is delicate, this is a fossil. It goes in, it scrapes down, and it yanks up all that sand. So to retrieve these and keep them in one piece that's not chipped or broken is very, very difficult. Because these big companies, when they're extracting these, they want to do it fast, they want to make money, and they just want to move that sand and get as many of these as they can. Well, in Madagascar, this is where these are coming from, around that whole giant country of Madagascar. There's a lot of families that do mining, and that is their main source of income. So you might have a family that scours the beach with pitchforks and clam diggers to get something like this. That's going to be, then it's going to be polished. We remove all the mud, all the algae that's built up. And this is highly polished. Then it's cut in half, right? Which is really, really difficult to get this with these beautiful colors in it. And all ammonites come with these beautiful colors. Sometimes, if you're lucky enough, and this one there's a little bit of it up here, It's got a little bit of an orange, iridescent typeness. So this is called ammonite. And what's happened, so originally the background story of ammonites, these are ammonites, is that up in Canada, it's funny, so labradorite was discovered in Canada, ammonite was discovered in Canada. And ammonite was discovered on these huge ammonite fossils. What happened was they were completely encrusted with that beautiful iridescent orange, greens, blues, that's just on the slight surface of these large ammonites. And companies went in and they discovered that. We have one on our website right now. Can you pull that up by the chance? There's a big ammonite on the website. It's about 25,000. So I'm going to pull up what an ammonite looks like when it's encrusted. And we have one here in the studio, somewhere in the warehouse. I don't know where it is. But it's an ammonite, and it's a large one of these that's been encrusted with this fantastic stone that we actually, as jewelers, would remove that coating and make it into jewelry. But we have a piece, that's it. So you can see can you zoom in on the,
yeah.
So on this is a large ammonite. So this is from probably somewhere in Canada. And we're pulling it back up, so just have patience, everybody. Remember, this is live TV, so it takes our tech a minute to figure all this out. All right, so we're going to pull it back up. So that's it. So if you look at that, and this is 60 to 240 million years old. And if you see those beautiful oranges over here, it has almost like an opalescence. Now, this particular stone, that has not been cut in half. When they find ammonites with that ammonite coating, it jacks the price up. These are museum quality pieces. And about 5 years ago in Tucson, they had every year they feature a stone at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show. Which, by the way, I've gone 28 years in a row. Skipped 1 year, I broke my leg, but long history. And 1 year they brought these in. And they were substantial. And they were anywhere from 30,000 on up to 120,000. And that's wholesale. So that's why these are museum quality pieces. To get that, and that just looks old, doesn't it? That looks prehistoric, dinosaurus, cool as anything, old, But once in a while, when you get a pair like this, you'll get a little bit of that coating on it. So that's why I'm bringing this up to show you. So you might be the lucky one or lucky bunch that actually have a little bit of that ammonite on your pair. And on this one, like I said, it's right here. I can see it. It's in this one little spot here. But obviously this was not encrusted enough to make it worth trying to salvage that one little piece. So they just left it. But pieces like this I think that on our website it's 8,000 right now. So if you're watching and you want to have that piece, you can buy it on Shop LC's website, and it is big. It is probably this big. It's large and in charge. We eared it, and I showed it with Matt a few months ago, just as an example to show you what the difference is in size and the difference of what we're talking about. So if they cut this down and cut it in half, it would look exactly like this on the inside, with that exact same spiral. Okay, now I'm going to go into the quick metaphysical properties. So what is ammonite used for metaphysically? Well, they say this is a great stone for meditation or a great stone for mantra or transition. So what you do is you put your finger on that little center of Freddie right here, and then through each chamber, you would say a mantra. Like let's say, this is my birthday month and I want to be happy every day. Every day I'm going to wake up with a smile on my face. Every day the sun is out, I'm going to do something special for myself. Those are all mantras that you can say. And when we talk about a mantra, when you say something verbally out there in the universe, you can achieve that. You've already put that out there. That energy that comes from your body is now speaking out to the universe. When you say negative things like, I'm going to wake up in the morning, I'm going to feel lousy. Today's a gloomy day and I didn't get the right coffee. You putting those, and that's not what happened to me. I'm just using that as an example. But when you put those out there in the universe verbally, you're creating that hurricane of negative energy. Because when you walk up to somebody and the first thing out of your mouth is negative, what have you done? Now you're already spreading that doom and gloom that you've pulled from a former situation that had nothing to do with now the person that you're meeting or greeting, and you're producing a negative statement right off the bat. That person that's there is going to automatically think, whoa, this person is a Debbie Downer. Why every time around him do I feel yucky when I leave? Because that person hasn't corrected that behavior. And I tell people, words are powerful. Be careful what you say. Because you know what? We've all hurt people's feelings. We've said stuff out of anger or out of just whatever. And then you really beat yourself up later, like, why did I say that? So don't be that person beating yourself up. Before it comes out of here, think about it. Just take a brief moment. If you say, oh, I can't control it, you can control everything. Because you know what? It's all in here. So if you want to change your life and do positive mantras, buy the Ammonite set. If you want just the coolest possible wedding gift for anybody, buy this set. Present it to them in a beautiful gifted box with a note that says what it is, a little bit about the history of the stone, and then the husband can take half and take it to where his work is. The wife, if she's a stay-at-home mom, or if she has an office somewhere, or a desk or a cubicle, she can take her half with her, and that way it's a reminder when you glance up of the beautiful day that you both came together to become one. So Freddie was one, and Freddie became two. Okay, we are going to move on. So this would be shop 2 in your comment column, and then if you type that in, it's $111.99, and then when you get, it'll prompt you to a page where you go in and you order, and then type in live 25 in the in the promo slot, and this will bring it down to $73.11. So remember, $73 to have something that is millions, I almost said billions again, millions of years old, that also just, it's a cool stone. How can this not create some kind of craziness, protect you? And you just look at it and you're like, man, I'm going to be 64. I think I'm old. I'm not 60 million years old. So anyway, this is a great little educational piece. If you want to buy this and you're a teacher, use it in your class to teach kids about different time periods in the world. I mean, it's a learning tool. If your kids or your grandkids are gaming all day long, get them something other than another game. Let them research and find out about the history of the world. It might spark an interest, who knows, but at least you're giving it a try. Okay, so we're going to move on to our third. Ooh, okay, this would be shop 3. And this is going to be this unbelievable, cool, and groovy pyrite sphere. And I'm going to tell you, look at the sparkle on this. Okay, so pyrite is predominantly found in Peru. That's where this is sourced. They're one of our leading countries right now for sourcing pyrite. Now, if you know about this particular stone, it's beautiful. It weighs a lot. What does it look like? It looks like gold. This was originally what brought the wagoneers from anywhere in the United States to San Francisco and California for the gold rush, because this was discovered in California, and at the time they thought it was gold. Now, we didn't have a telephone back then, so somebody found this at one point, and then they must have written home with Pony Express, that horse, going across the United States. That letter probably took, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months to get somewhere else. And they said, I have discovered gold. So what happens? The whole family packs up, they get put on a wagon, and then they start telling other people, oh my God, gold's been discovered in California. Everywhere you can mine it. It's free. There's no government regulations, because then there was very little government anyway. So this sparked a whole onset of people traveling across the country to get to California for the gold rush, which unfortunately for them, it was just pyrite. Sort of a bummer, I guess, but you know, if they said diamonds were discovered somewhere in the United States, I'd be heading there too. So, this is pyrite. Not only do you get the pyrite, but with any sphere today, we are going to send you this groovy handmade stand. So this stand will hold any sphere. It's whittled. I like that word, whittled. Okay, this is shop 3, by the way. I'm making sure. Shop 3, if you're interested. So I'm going to go price, and then I'm going to continue with the pyrite. Okay, this is $99.99. That's the price on our website. 25% off of that is $74.99. I also want to say, if you accumulate or spend over $50, you get free shipping. So free shipping on something like this. This is pretty heavy. This is metal. Feels like it's got a lot of weight. It feels like gold. Not the gold that I'm used to, but it's pretty heavy. And let's talk about pyrite. Let's get in and give you some examples. So I'm looking at the sphere, and what I'm looking for, ooh, there's one right there in front of my fingernail. So I'm going to go really close up to the camera on both cameras, so I'm going to move this around. But if you look right beside where my finger is, I don't know if that's clear, and I'll move it over this one, right beside where my fingernail is, there's an actual little cube that you can see. So pyrite, all pyrite, grows in a cubical structure, which means a square. So it could be, this is millions and millions of little squares that have been put together, not through me or through science, through the earth itself, compressed, they built on top of each other, and it forms a big block. Now, in those little crevices, I call them fobs, if you look, those little cubes are what's creating that beautiful little glitter effect. And really good pyrite has that. Now, I've bought perfect cubes, that's a square, and grown on the matrix. It doesn't have that sparkle effect because it's just this one square. You need a multitude of squares at different directions to actually give you that beautiful faceted sparkle that pyrite exhibits. Now there's ways to get this out of the ground. This is mined in Peru. Really, really difficult to get out. They have to do a lot of crushing. They have to do some toxic chemicals to actually remove pyrite from the matrix stone. So, it's never been found in enough abundance in the United States for it to ever be mined commercially to sell on the gem decor market. But Peru, because of that crazy, Machu Picchu, they have all that crazy elevation at different heights and outside of mountains, and whatever the earth did to create gem and minerals in certain parts of the world, it's through heat and pressure, and whatever the core or base mineral is that grows, and it could be with something else, creates obviously different minerals throughout the world. This is predominantly mined in Peru. Now, pyrite, if you don't know about it and you've never had it, it's really sparkly. It weighs a lot like metal. It also is a great stone to attract prosperity. What is prosperity? Well, in my game, it's probably money. So if you're interested in having a more prosperous life, this piece of pyrite on its free whittly stand for $74.99 can be yours. Okay, so this also protects you against negativity. So I'm wearing a shungite pendant. I honeycomb the back because I'm a beekeeper, and I didn't want the shungite touching my skin. There are lots of stones: pyrite, shungite, black. Oh, okay, and I'll show you what else. So in my back pocket, what am I carrying? A big giant piece of black tourmaline. So I carry stones with me. I tuck them in certain places. I have them in the door of my car. I might have them in my pocketbook. I have a bowl that I keep. It's a selenite bowl on my coffee table. If I wasn't using my phone, I'd show you the picture of it because I did take a picture. And in that beautiful translucent selenite bowl, I have assorted stones that are spheres, that are palm stones. And as I get up in the morning and decide what I'm going to do that day, how I'm feeling, I'll pluck a couple of stones out of that particular bowl, and I will carry them with me throughout the day because I feel like it's like taking an aspirin. I feel I might need this today. I always action, which is that black tourmaline in my pocket, pyrite, shungite. And what I mean by stones of protection, first of all, it wards off negativity. And like I said, when I go out there to do my real world stuff, I deal with a lot of people in all aspects of life. I always try to be the positive one. And, you run into people that are maybe sick, maybe just are sick and fed up of life, or maybe they've been sitting in traffic for a few hours. And when that happens, here's the pyrite. I'm going to hold this up and just do a little bit closer. I'm going to drop the stand. Okay. So I want you to see this. So when you deal with people like that, I want to be protected. I want my energy, so when I get home, I'm not dumping that on anybody that I know. My husband, if you have animals, you have kids, you don't need that. That's not your life, right? Just because somebody else is having a bad day, don't let it be you. Don't let that cascade into your well-being. So any of these stones that I'm going to show you, I always push, and I don't mean push. I always love to produce stones that I feel will protect people, especially if you're traveling, airports. Shungite, number one stone you should be wearing in the airport, because you go through the radiator, which is and that happens a lot. They camera your body. They look to see if you have hidden stuff. That's radiation. I don't care if they tell you how much it's okay for you. Do that. Is that the average person? What happens if you're standing beside that machine all day long? I go to the dentist, they put a lead vest on me. I go to the airport, they're like, we got millions going through today. No problem at all. Okay, you know what? Nobody knows yet, because that is fairly new. That happened, we started doing that after 9/11. So basically less than 20 years before they got them implemented. I know when 9/11 was. But that has only become the new now, is you just walk through and get radiated. Shungite, pyrite, black tourmaline, pneumite, any of your really, really dark stones are going to protect you while you're traveling. This is also, because it was referred to as fool's gold, this is a great stone for prosperity. I mean, it drew people across the whole country because they thought they were going to be rich. So this stone is always associated with prosperity. So if you're starting a business, throw a little piece of pyrite by the front desk, by the cash register. Bring that prosperity in. Welcome that money in. That's what you're living for, is to be successful. I don't mean uber wealthy. That'd be nice, but that's not the majority of people that live in this world we're living in. They just want to be able to pay their bills, have a nice life, sustain, maybe take some vacations. That all comes with, business and success, or working for a company, being an entrepreneur. Maybe you married rich. You know what? That's prosperity, right? You sought that out. Maybe you're one of those who, has a lifestyle that you want to maintain, that you've grown up a certain way or lived a lifestyle. That's prosperity. You're seeking that out from one partner to another. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just, it's just who we are, and we want to have nice lives. So this stone is for prosperity. It's for mental clarity. It protects against negativity. It has all those things that we need, and it comes with this groovy free stand, which alone, see that? And this will fit any sphere. And I also want to say these little stands, and when I say whittled, it's one piece of wood. Now, I'm going to tell you, I camped as a kid with my family. I had a little knife. I whittled like a little tree twig one time. It didn't come out like this at all. So this stand is going to be free with any of the spheres you're purchasing today. Okay, we're going to move on to a really cool, interesting stone called Kambaba Jasper. So I'm going to put this little one back here. And this is not a little. This is a large. This is like softball size large. So it's interesting, and I'm just going to put up, I'm going to show you my value buy today and my favorite pick. They're coming up. And it is, okay, 7:15. I got another hour and 15 minutes. So I have plenty of time holding off on those. I'm going to rope you in because this one of them, I have 4 pieces. That's it. 4. You know what? I'm going to show you now because I want everybody to be enticed, but I'm not going to tell you what number it is. I'm just going to show it to you. This right here, this right here, this large, giant piece of polychrome jasper is definitely my favorite value buy. So that's coming up. So stay tuned because I'm going to get all into the world of polychrome jasper. But first, Kambaba jasper. Okay, so when we talk about Kambaba, this actually comes from South Africa. All right, it comes with your stand. This is going to be shop number 4 in the comment column. So shop 4 for your Kambaba. This is an unbelievable buy. I'm going to hold it up so you can see it while I'm calculating here. Over onto the side. Okay, I knew what it was in my head. I didn't really need to calculate, but just to make sure. $39.99. Look at the size of this. This is like a baseball size. This is a high polished stone. And if you look at it, any of my stone people out there that know your stuff, this reminds you and me of ocean jasper that comes out of Madagascar. But it's not. It's Kambaba jasper, which, by the way, when you take the 25% off, live 25 in the promo, this is shop 4. This brings it down to $29.99. $30. You can have Kambaba jasper, and you can do budget pay. So anybody who's out there that's tuning in that doesn't know about our budget pay, at Shop LC, our motto is no credit, first time credit, any credit, we don't care. We will give you credit on us. So if it says budget pay, BP in blue, right under the price, you can click on that and that will spread this out into 4 payments. So usually on a budget pay of something for $29.99, it's going to be $7.50. So $7.50 out the door, we're going to send this to you. If you accumulate over $50 in stones or products from this show, it'll be free shipping. So $29.99, that's almost $50. I'm giving you the free stand. If you want to get a couple of them, you'll be over the $50. If you want to hold out for that giant polychrome jasper heart that I showed, I have 4 of those only. You got to be fast on that because that came in, I looked at it, and I know it's going to be gone. Okay, Kambaba jasper comes from South Africa. Interesting stone. This is for the heart and root chakra. So how Kambaba was originally formed, these little beautiful little pockets that look like almost like circles, they have a pattern. When this was starting to be formed, that was actually algae that was trapped and then fossilized. So that makes this a stone that's a fossil, not just a stone. Now, because of that was happening, this stone, they said, Kambaba jasper, who's they? They are Google. They are Google, and I trust Google. Google told me that this stone happened to create, because of the way it was formed with the fossilizing of algae, that this stone created the first oxygen on Earth, which is super cool and groovy. I don't know. Could be used as a teaching tool. Has a lot of other different properties. That's just, if you start learning about stones and gem and minerals, there's so much cool stuff that you don't even realize that's out there. This particular stone is related to your heart chakra, and your root chakra. What are those? So I'm going to tell you briefly, and I am going to say that the week after next, I'm trying to get some new merchandise that just came in that's chakra related that I think a lot of people would be very interested in. So I've seen it. It's going to be on my list to try to get it in the show in 2 weeks. So stay tuned because I'm going to rotate the stock. I'm going to try to get new stuff in all the time. Okay, this particular stone is pertaining to your heart and your root chakra. So your body has 7 chakras. They start here at the base of your spine and they work up to your, okay, there's 7. So there's your root. Then there is your, oh my God, I'm having a blank. Okay, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra. This pertains to heart and root. So when it corrects your heart chakra, that is the chakra that is the olive branch that you are extending in life. Let's say you've had issues with, family, issues with maybe somebody that you used to be really friends with, you sort of fell out. This will give you the ability to extend that olive branch without expecting anything back other than love and forgiveness. Or if you don't need to be forgived, just the love. A lot of times I've had, some family members through my life, I've always that have done something that I find bad behavior. And I've always extended that olive branch back to them and said, it's no big deal. Let's move on, and I love you, and let's just, keep going forward. So this stone will help you with that. Also, your root chakra, which is your grounding chakra, that is the chakra that houses your feeling of stability, secure in your home, job safety. That's when you start questioning your stability, where you live, where you work. Those are all life-changing events that could affect you in possibly a negative way. So when you're feeling all that, and our bodies are very in tune, we're very intuitive, we don't even realize it sometimes. Sometimes we do realize it, and we try to turn that blind eye and say, these are just examples I'm going to give you. When I say, these stones open up certain chakras in your body, when I say intuition, let's say you exhibit bad behavior. You go to work, you exhibit bad, you're always late, you don't care about the job, you complain about it all the time, and then you get let go. And then you're all angry. Oh, I did my job. Why'd they let me go? But you knew all those steps that you were doing that brought you up to that one event were wrong. That's the intuition. You knew what you were doing was wrong. It's the same thing with anything else. When you exhibit bad behavior, you're angry. Let's say you are an angry person all the time, and you produce that anger that's out there. You're screaming at people. You're yelling at people. All that energy that you're throwing out there in the world, obviously, it's negative. So all these stones that I'm showing you, try to help with all aspects of your life. Extending the olive branch, feeling grounded to this world, opening up that heart chakra, being smart enough to know when you get that gut feeling that something's off. You've either created it yourself, maybe you didn't, but you knew something was going on. These are stones that are going to aid in that. You have mental clarity. So if you're exhibiting bad behavior, you need that mental clarity. You need that little tap on the face that says, hey, you need to change the way you're doing stuff. And it could be with anything. Maybe you want to be a better dad. Maybe you want to be a better mom. Maybe you want to be more forgiving. Maybe you want to be more loving. Maybe you have a family member who has a dementia or has some really, really difficult things that you are with that person all the time, and you can't take it anymore. This helps you open that heart up to maybe be a little bit more accepting and go, okay, I can deal with this. I just need to take a few steps, get some time for myself, mental clarity. I need to take a trip and get away from all this. This will help you with that. Okay, so I love this stone, Kambaba Jasper. $29.99 if you type in the Live 25 in the promo code, and this is shop 4 in the comic column. So please, this is a great stone, $29.99. That's what you're going to pay for it, and you get the free stand. It's a Texas twofer. It's a great deal. Take advantage of it. Okay, we are going to move on to, okay. This is something that, this particular stone that I'm going to show you now, I discovered, I'm going to say probably in 2006 in Tucson. This is called Numite. So when Numite first was discovered, and I'm going to try to get some close-ups because if you look at this stone, it actually has these little lines in it that almost look like they're blue. So I'm moving it from camera to camera. I'm trying to get, so I'll do it really slow. If you look at this, it has these little lines. That one's not it, the one you just pulled up. I'm doing 6. I'm sorry about that. Okay, can we move to 6? Do you mind?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so this is shop. I skipped one, so that one that the producer just showed you is supposed to be next, but I skipped it by mistake. Okay, so we're going to go to the Numite. We'll stick with this. This is going to be shop 6, right? In that comment bar, shop 6, folks. So I'm going to continue to show you the blue. If you can see, it's really interesting. It looks almost like if you took a fine pen and you drew lines and you did some artwork, this would come up and you see those blue. Okay, so when I first was aware of Numite, stories were out there. It was insane. Everybody was talking about it. It had never been seen before. And at the time, I was buying it by the gram. So this is roughly 1,360 grams. So I'm going to tell you what I would have paid for this back in 2004, 2006. 1,360 grams times 0.35. I would have paid, don't laugh, because when a new stone comes out and is discovered, supply and demand. And this was being sold by the gram. There wasn't a whole ton of it. I would have paid $476 for this stone back in 2004. Obviously, it's been found. It's been mined. It's a lot more prevalent out there. It's one of your darker stones. This is $29.99 on the website. And so it comes out to $22.50 if you type in the live 25. That would be your price on this Numite. So anytime you're dealing with a dark stone, your black tourmalines, your shungites, your Numites, your deep, deep reds, your carnelians, those are all going to be geared towards that root chakra to keep you grounded. They also, I always think about it as the darker the stone, like a shield of protection, like a warrior used to carry. So that's how when I'm out in the market and I'm shopping for new stones, I basically go by color first, and then I know that all the pastels are usually for the heart chakra up, or from the midsection up, because those are all your more pastel-y, the wavelength between stones. The colors resonate with certain key parts of your body, and at some point I will go into and talk about a whole lot more about chakras. I don't want anybody to be confused today. This is not a chakra show, but I'm just telling you what resonates with each chakra. And this particular stone, Numite, is a stone of protection. That's its main purpose. This also helps you with mental clarity, emotional issues, physical and emotional issues. This will help you. This is like going to a therapist. When you sit there and you take that Numite out and you go, I had a bad day today. I don't know. My coffee wasn't right. And then you sort of say to yourself, really? I'm upset about my coffee not being right? That seems so minuscule now. But earlier that day, it might have been the straw that broke the camel's back. So when you say it out loud, this Numite is going to suck in those words And it's going to actually make you think that mental clarity and physical, it's going to make you think, really? That's what you think is important in life right now? At that time, maybe it was important. But you know what? Realistically, that's not important at all. There's so many more things that you can be happy about rather than be negative about something small and minuscule. Okay, so pneumite. This also, it protects you for... This is called the sorcerer's stone. So don't be afraid, anybody who says, ooh, sorcerers, black magic. No, that's not what they just nicknamed it that, because they believe this stone produces magic in your life. And a sorcerer is, waves that magic wand. And, Cinderella, that woman was a sorcerer. The one who changed Cinderella from, the maid into the queen. So it's magic. And magic doesn't have to be a negative connotation. I see magic every day in my life. I see people transform. When I see something happy, I get very emotional. Sometimes I cry. It doesn't have anything to do with me, but I just happen to be there at the time. That's magical to me. If something out in the universe can spark an emotion that really draws from my heart and makes me teary-eyed, that's magical in itself, because that is such an emotional happiness that we miss that in life a lot of times. We're all so blocked. We're also, bombarded with 24/7 moving. We got to be plugged in all the time. I was just telling the producer here, on the way to the show tonight, I sat in a tremendous amount of traffic. And, I was at one red light that I could see, and it changed 3 times. Now, I could have been losing it. Oh my God, why is this happening to me? It wasn't happening to me, it was happening to everybody around me. We're all sitting there at the same red light. So it wasn't just me, so don't have that me syndrome. What this stone does, it makes you think that mental clarity. It's not just me. It's everybody around. Okay, this construction, it's out of my hands. I can't be stressed out. I left in plenty of time. I was actually here on time. I gave myself an extra few minutes because I knew I would be sitting in traffic at some point at 5 o'clock. So I produced an extra few minutes and left a couple minutes early. So I didn't have that. That's that mental clarity when your brain says, hey, you know what? You might want to leave a couple of minutes early today because you might sit in traffic and you don't want to be stressed out about missing your 6 o'clock live stream. That's mental clarity. That's what I'm talking about. That's the intuition. You start making decisions that are going to enhance your life. And what happens when you enhance your life like that? You're not stressed out, right? I was sitting in my car. I just kept flicking from 1970s music to the Pulse. I was listening to all kinds of great stuff. I got here. I was happy to be here. I had time to get a little cup of tea. Decisions like that, I consider mental clarity. It's just protecting yourself so you're not stressed out, so you're not negative, so you don't come in a whirlwind. Something so minor as carrying one of these stones, I can show you, I showed you this earlier, it's in my back pocket. This was in my car door along with labradorite. And I was going to put the labradorite in this side, but I don't need self-confidence to do the show. This is my stuff. This is my jam. This is it for me. I don't need self-confidence now. It was in the door of my car because I was doing other things. I was dog walking and volunteering. I didn't want to be with an aggressive dog, so I needed that little boost of self-confidence. I was tending to bees. Do I want that extra self-confidence? Absolutely. I'm tending to 30,000 bees that I have no control over. I need to calm down, feel strong, make sure I'm not breathing, because bees don't like that whatever when you breathe in and out, carbon monoxide. That'll draw them right to me. So that stone was giving me a little bit more self-confidence. I had it in my back pocket. I left it in the door of my car. So this is a great stone. Hi, Tony. So this is a great stone to have for self-confidence, for that third eye, for that grounding effect. Pneumite. $29.99. You get 25% off if you type the promo code Alive25. Brings it down to $22.50. And then if you spend over 50 and accumulate a varies of stones through my show, you'll get free shipping today. Okay, so Numite, another stone that's billions of years old. It's a stone of protection, physical and emotional issues. The Sorcerer's Stone. It's just, I like this. It's, like I said, it has those little blue striations. You can barely see them, but you can sort of see them when I move it around. I'm going to do it on this camera. You can see those little teeny blue lines in the Numite. It's flat bottom, so you can put this on a shelf. Okay, so this would be shop 6. Take advantage. I'm going to move on. Now I'll do shop 5. I'm going to go backwards just because I messed up. Okay, and this one is what we were showing earlier. This is called, they're calling it Black Flower Agate Freeform. Okay. So what this is other matrix in here of different minerals. Quartz is the predominant in this particular piece. So this is going to be $29.99. This is shop 5. If you type in the comment column shop 5, it'll prompt you, and in the promo code, type in live 25, and it'll bring it down to $22.50. Okay, agate. Agate, and this is called, we're calling this black agate flower. This is, once again, this is predominantly mined from Madagascar right now, but agate is found all over the entire world, everywhere. There's agates that are found here. Years ago, the Indians found agates throughout Native Americans throughout United States, and they actually traded these agates as currency for food, for seeds, for all different stuff. Agate has been carved into some of your figurines. It's been used in the production of boxes carved out of agate that become translucent. So this stone is, sounds like it's raining. This stone has been around forever. I don't know exactly, because agate has so many different colors that this particular stone, I can't tell you the exact date it was discovered. It's not named after a person. Like, when you discover a stone, it's usually named after the person that's discovered it, all right? Agate is just agate. I don't think there was a So I'll say this was discovered after me, Cheryl Agate. Just kidding. So $22.50 on this. Agate it has a lot of quartz in it. It's a great stone. It's an accelerator of different stuff, emotions. It will help you with happiness. I'm going to move on because I have other stuff that I really want to get to. And so this is shop 5. We're going to move on now to number 7, which is shop 7. Okay. So when I said I'm going to pick 2 pieces, this is going to be my value buy today. So what this is a piece of labradorite, right? This is a freeform piece. It can be set and stood up any way you want to place it. It has labradorescence on all the sides. All right, you can see it. The lights in here aren't the greatest, but this chunk is killer and awesome. This is going to be shop 7. This is $29.99 on the web, and after your 25% off, this brings it down to $22.50. So this is what I said. This is going to be my value buy, because $22.50 for a piece of labradorite. I mean, this is pretty chunky. Well, it looks good with my shirt too. It actually matches perfect. Oh, I'd make that into a giant necklace, but it's really heavy, folks. It's too thick. But I mean, that would be. I could rock that. This would be a Cheryl piece for sure. But for $22.50, you can get these. And like I said, this is a value buy. So we talked about labradorite. I'm going to go into it briefly because I don't want people to be too bored. This was discovered in Labrador, Canada in the late 1780s. It was brought over to Europe, where it was cut and polished into a lot of different jewelry. From there, it's made its way. It's been a stable stone in the jewelry market for a few hundred years. It's been used in a tigliago, which is those little stamps they use for wax, or little heads that they used to carve over in England and Italy and Europe. But this is a great value buy. This is incredible for that price. I showed you the bigger piece earlier, and I'll just hold it up so you can see them side by side. You see the difference. So this one, this was shop one. This would be, you could have this for $73 because this was $97.99, and then I gave you 25% off. This is shop 7, and this is going to cost you $20. So it's about 5 times roughly smaller, you know, as should be. You're paying 2 different prices. So this is going to be the one I'm talking about now. This is the stone that promotes self-confidence. It's a protector, and we talked about self-confidence, but I believe, like, if you have anybody that's graduating, maybe high school, and they're going off to their college life, maybe they just got married and they're moving to a new location, they're starting a new life, maybe they just had a baby, they're starting a family. This is a great stone to bring them or gift them into their life that they can put anywhere in their house. You could buy 2 of them, put them as bookends. This fits anywhere. That's what I mean. It's polished on all sides. You could put this in a college dormitory on a little shelf. And you know, it's interesting when you buy stuff like this as a gift, when people move on in life and they move and leave an apartment or a dormitory, they leave, either throw the furniture out, they leave it behind, they give it away. Something like this, they're not going to leave behind. This is going to go with them, and it's going to create a spark of memory, but it's going to move and transition through life with them. So I know I just moved from Florida to Texas, my husband and I, and we brought all the stones with us. You know, I even brought a lot of plants with me. But it's something that you just don't leave behind. We sold off our furniture on Facebook Marketplace, a lot of it. The stones I didn't sell off. Every stone that I have, I remember where I bought it, how much I paid for it, who I was with, you know, why I bought it at the time. Maybe it was just a great deal. Maybe it was a stone I'd never seen before. But I go through and I have them placed in the house strategically for certain things. You know, the shungite I have under my TV. I have my phone on the charging station on shungite. That's sucking them up all those EMFs. That's something very important to me. But this labradorite is a great stone. That shilling effect that you get from it is what draws people in. So let's say you have a little studio apartment and you have a little cute space. Maybe it's a little altar. Maybe it's just a little shelving unit that you've decided to procure little certain stones and you want to share them, have them in view, be able to get that metaphysical property if you believe in it. If not, they're just beautiful home decor items. And if you look at some of the really high-end TV shows, the Housewives, some of the other reality shows, when they go into these superstars' houses, their home decor is usually stone related. It might be a fountain, it might be a carving, it might be a giant piece of labradorite that they have on a shelf or in their entranceway, because these hold value. They're from the earth. We don't know how much longer we'll be able to mine and get stuff out of the earth. You know, I don't know how much labradorite Madagascar has left. I don't go over there and say, oh, you got 3 tons left. But I know when it runs out, just like anything else, it's not a 3D printer. We're pulling this out of the earth. Regulations change. You know, think about all the stones. If you're an avid Shop LC fan, what we show you that's getting my Sleeping Beauty turquoise, mined out. That mine has been filled in with sand and water. There's actually a park where Sleeping Beauty turquoise used to be mined. Why? Because they weren't pulling enough material out of the ground, and they decided they would switch over to silver, which they were finding. So a lot of times when you're dealing with, so they had to pull a new license. Now, whether that silver got mined out, I read that they've actually filled in that mine with dirt. So a lot of times through history, stones do get mined out. It's not an endless supply. When we talk about the tanzanite mines, you know, they have gone down so far down now that they're only pulling out very little material. And 2 or 3 of the shafts that went down further are now closed because they're not getting, I'm going to put this up to the camera close, because they're not pulling the material out that they used to be able to get out of these mines. So labradorite to get this quality, this could change, I don't know. I don't have the ability to know that right now. I'm not traveling to Madagascar. But this could change where the price, especially with the tariffs, it's going to go up. I can tell you that. So this could be yours for $22.50. This is my value buy because tariffs are going to hit us. They're already 30%. That's suspended now at 30%. But that doesn't mean they might not go up to 100%. That means if this stone is $22.50 right now, and we have to order it again, this is going to be $45. And that's going to be your price because it's going to be our price. We have no control over that. As things go up, we just, our buyers are coming. They're seeking out from all over the world right now to try to keep the prices low and try to get as much material in before the 30-day or 90-day hold is lifted. So we are out there scouring the world. But the quality of the labradorite that we get in is really, really great quality. So take advantage of it. This could change in the next few months. I don't know. But if you're into gem and minerals, you want to buy some Christmas stuff, get on the phone now. Get on your telephone and order it. It's 25% off on the live show that I'm doing. And every week, I'm going to bring in a different material. So if you're interested, I'm going to bring in some jewelry that's more stone related. It's not going to be platinum and faceted stones. It's going to be more gem decor and gem decor related. Could be beaded necklaces, could be water bottles, could be shungite. So stay tuned, every week, other than next week because I'm off. After that, I'm going to try to continue this show weekly and try to build an audience like you who's tuning in. Thank you, because I don't think you want to see the same stuff week after week. So we will change it up. So $22.50. This is shop 7. All right, so $22.50 would be your cost. Remember, if you buy over $50, you get free shipping. Okay, we're going to move on to something cool and groovy. This is sort of fun. And this is going to be, these came on the market. So this is a little pyrite gem tree. It sort of looks like a gold palm tree, if I'm back in Florida, or like a beautiful cypress tree somewhere. But these come when you get them, and I'm going to push it down so you can see what I'm doing here. So this comes sort of packaged up where you have the ability, you can see I just pushed these down, you have the ability to move these little pyrite flats to whatever position you want. So you can make this full, you can make it how, you can really, put those little wires however you want. This is actually a piece of wood in the center here. It looks like a banyan tree to me. Banyans are found in tropical atmospheres. And then they've actually created that little pyrite mound on the bottom. So this little pyrite tree is $29.99. 25% off. This would be shop 8. Shop 8 in the comment bar. And then when it prompts you, you put in the promo Live 25 and it brings it down to $22.50. So these are manufactured in Peru. This is called a gem tree. These came out, I'm going to say around 15 years ago. Maybe I started seeing these really come on the market. I have a quite large one. Where is my gem tree now that I'm thinking of it? Okay, mine is about 3 feet tall, believe it or not. My friend Donna, who's watching, has made these. They're very difficult to make. They're very, very time consuming because what you have under this base, and I'm going to move these and try to get a close up. Right here, you can see there's a series of twisted wires. So you have to start with 1, 2, this probably has 20. So 20 pieces of wire that they twist together. Then they secure it on a base. They cover that wire. This has been covered with a material that looks like wood, and they've painted it gold. Now I'm realizing it's not wood, it's a material that looks like wood. And then what they do is they pull the wires up one at a time. They take usually a single, just a single stone that has a hole through it, and they wire it through, and they secure them. And it could be, this one has about 20 because these are, I'm going to call them pyrite pallets. So there's multi-pieces because pyrite you can't drill a hole through. All right, it will fracture. You can't do it. We have to use really, really diamond cutting industrial material because this is a metal. It's very, very hard. So this is not done with a single hole through each individual. This is called a palette. And you can see, so it's quite a bit of pyrite on that. And very interesting how these are made. These are done in Peru once again. This stone is manufactured in Peru, and they do a lot of really handcrafting work in Peru, a lot of weaving, a lot of stuff like that. So this is handmade by probably a single person. We've ordered these and brought them to Shop LC because we're carrying the pyrite. $22.50, and this is Shop 8 in the comment. And once again, what did I tell you about pyrite? I'll go over it real quick again. This is a stone for reduces negativity. It also is a stone for luck and money. If you want to bring luck into your world or money, this is a great stone to have. And this is so cute because you could put this right beside a little cash register, where you're ringing up your sales. Or you could put it if you own a salon, maybe up and back along the wall. If you have an office, it can go in your office. It's small enough that it can go right on top of your computer in your cubicle. So this is a great little gift. It comes packaged up with these all squished down, and then you just manipulate them and move those little pieces of wire to create whatever type of tree formation you want on the top of this. So $22.50. Mined out of Peru. Hi, Billy. And this is something that you can bring into your life for luck and money and prosperity. This is going to be Shop 8. This is a beautiful pyrite piece, so take advantage. So I'm going to move on now to my most favorite piece here. And I said I only had 4, so I'm going to show that. And if you want it, you best order it immediately. Okay, this is Shop 9, and I want to show you how big this is, because I have a big heart. That's my big heart. Okay, this is polychrome jasper. Look at the size of this. Okay, this is going to be $29.99. After the 25% off, this brings it down to $22.50. All right. Oh, so we have a customer comment, and it says, can I read that? It says,
I absolutely love watching you, Cheryl. I collect the gemstones from Shop LC and have several labradorite and amethyst pieces. I love collecting them from your channel.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, get this one, because this is a great deal. And I told you, I picked 2 pieces for this show. I have 4 of these only. 4. That's it. So these won't come back in at $22.50. This is Shop number 9. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of polychrome jasper. I only have 4, so I don't want to spend a tremendous amount of time on this because these will sell. So polychrome jasper is another Madagascar stone. What happened was this was discovered while they were looking for ocean jasper. So ocean jasper was mined out of Madagascar for about 50 years. The gentleman that was mining that particular stone passed away, and he never divulged where he was mining that. Never told anybody. So people on the island and other gem enthusiasts scoured and spent a lot of years trying to discover more ocean jasper, which they have. But in the interim, while they were trying to find that, they discovered this polychrome jasper. This polychrome jasper is a multitude of colors. You can see the blues. It comes in all various colors. And they say this stone creates and promotes creativity. And I do believe that, because when you look at this, it looks like somebody painted this. Most of the pieces of polychrome jasper, you can see the heart up there. Look at the multitude of colors on that. You have your greens, your blues, your rusty browns. That's what polychrome jasper comes in, a multitude of colors. So when you look at that, it sparks in your mind a painting. It looks like a painting. Mother Earth has created this on her own. So what they've tied this stone with is to promote creativity. And this stone was predominantly sold to people originally when they discovered it that were doing lots of carvings, whether it could be carvings 6 foot tall, because of those, or small little teeny carvings, because of all this play of colors, that these carvings just became, pieces of art. They already were art pieces, but when you pair that with something other than white marble, which was most of your statues were carved from, or your Cetapino from Italy, that's that pink stone, that pink marble that was all your Grecian statues were carved of. Can you imagine seeing a full-fledged 6 foot statue done in polychrome jasper with a multitude of colors? And these carvers got so good, they could see where these colors were coming out, and they would not place them, but when they would start these carvings, they would actually work them into this beautiful figurine or whatever they were carving. So this was discovered in 2012. It was mined out by 2018. So this polychrome jasper is mined out, number one, and it had a very short existence, which means supply and demand. Yes, we have bought quite a bit of polychrome jasper, but they only have 4 of these hearts. That means that these, if we do get them again, probably are not going to come in this size at this price. We might have them cut into smaller pieces because maybe we can't accumulate big giant chunks like this anymore. So that's why I'm saying if you want this, I know, I believe, wahoo, this is gorgeous. And this is, I only have 4 of these. So this is $22.50 after the 25 live code. So get on the phone and add this to your collection because this is the cool and groovy stone. All right. Also, what does polychrome jasper do? It attracts prosperity. It also is for vitality and happiness. Another thing that I find out super interesting about this stone is that this stone is actually said to promote dream awareness. So have you ever had a dream and you're in the middle of a great dream and your alarm goes off and you wake up and you only remember a fraction of that dream and you're like, you think about it, you're trying to relive it over and over in your head. What was that all about? Or you wake up and you can't remember. Dream awareness. So, and they say that, dreams are all related from, I've had some of the craziest dreams in my life. I could be watching a movie that has action and death and destruction and cars blowing up, and then I'm off rescuing dogs that day. And in my dream that night, I'm running with packs of dogs and I'm trying to rescue them from bombs going off. So your dreams are just, convoluted minutia a lot of times of stuff that's actually happened during the day. And it could be stuff that is more prominent, like the dog animal rescue. Maybe that was my passion. I'm thinking about that underlying while I'm sleeping. The bombs and destruction, because I watched this killer movie right before I went to bed. So it's a meld of all that stuff. Sometimes, with that deja vu, I don't really know how that works, but I don't think anybody's been able to explain that. Because I have had many, many deja vus where you're standing there and you go, I dreamed this, or I remember this. How does that happen? I feel like I'm living in the Matrix. I'm ready to step out into a movie set. But that happens, and we've all had those deja vus. Every one of us. I can guarantee through life at some point you had a deja vu moment. Where does that come from? This stone helps you remember those deja vu moments. Maybe something more prevalent is going on in your life. You need to focus on that. Also, this is a stone that promotes creativity. So get on board. And I don't mean creativity. You could be a tattoo artist. You could be a landscaper. You could arrange cans in a supermarket. That's all creative. Anytime you're using your brain to arrange or do something, that's creativity. It doesn't mean you have to be, Picasso out there painting. This stone aids in any form of creativity. Okay, 4 left. Get on the horn. This is shop 9. I'm going to move on. We are moving on to a crazy sphere. I had to get those little vocal cords glued up with a little a little water juice. Okay. This is going to be, we're calling this, where did it go? Oh, right here. Am I doing this one? I am. Okay, we're calling this one fire quartz. Now, I want to say again, every stone that you buy that's a sphere is going to come with this groovy stand. Okay, fire quartz. This is going to be $29.99. This is going to be number shop 10 in the comment right there in the little comment bar. Shop 10. Okay, anybody who just tuned in, it's on the 7:30 hour. I'm just going to introduce myself again. My name is Cheryl Briggs, Benvenuto, known as Cheryl B. I do the live TV on Fridays and Monday mornings. I'm doing the live stream consistently every Tuesday. So if you're a gem and mineral hunter, if you want to learn about chakras, if you just want to learn about history of stones in itself, every Tuesday, 6 to 8 Texas time, I will be on, except next week I'm off. If you want to follow me on my personal platform, it's Instagram is Cheryl Magical Journey or Magical Journey Cheryl. And on Facebook, I'm Cheryl Benvenuto, and I'm in a bee suit, so you'll know it's me. Okay, this is going to be shop 10. This is called our fire quartz. Now, I'm going to talk about a little bit about quartz and the word fire. Okay, this has some red in it, and I guess that's why they're calling it fire quartz, because anytime we pick red as a color, it reminds us of fire or Christmas. So this isn't Christmas quartz, this is fire quartz. So what does fire quartz do? It's an accelerator. If you're feeling fiery, if you're feeling like you have energy, this will accelerate that energy. That's what quartz does. It's a natural accelerator. So every single one of our electronic devices throughout the world all has quartz. When we started making, years ago, everybody had wind watches. What was the first movement? Quartz movement. When quartz movement came on the market in a watch, it was like fire, and it spread like fire. Everybody wanted quartz movement watches. Nobody wanted to wind their watch. Why do I have to wind my watch? Why can't I have quartz movement? It's smooth. You know, it doesn't have that quartz movement. Womp. So that came onto the market. And since then, we have electronic devices that have taken over our world. Microwaves, laptops, Kindles, phones, tablets, gamer stations. I'm in a TV studio that I'm surrounded by monitors everywhere. I have 2 giant cell phones in front of me that are recording. Every single one of these has quartz in it, because what happens with energy that goes through from the plug, that energy, whoosh, do you see that? How fast my hand, I'll do it again. Whoosh. That's what happens. Quartz is an accelerator. I like that noise. Whoosh. Okay, so when energy is hitting a piece of quartz, it's accelerating it. So if you're feeling positive in your life, you're feeling happy, grab a stone that accelerates that energy. Because it doesn't even have to be this piece of quartz. It could be any stone. I'm going to show you another piece of flower agate that has a lot of quartz in it. Once you have quartz in a stone, that's going to accelerate that energy. It's going to make you feel faster, happier. If you're feeling and you're having a bad day, don't pick up a piece of quartz. Go in, get your black tourmaline, your shungite, all those stones that are going to suck in and protect you against negativity. This is a happy stone. This is fire. This is energy. This is tied to your heart. When your heart is full and you're happy, let's say you meet a new person in your life, you're just starting a relationship, right? You get those butterflies in your stomach on the first or second date. You're like, ooh, I can't wait to see them. You think about them all the time. Why aren't they texting me? Why aren't they calling me every minute? That's fire. That's love. That's passion. That's energy. That's all positive. That's when you want to have something like this in your life. You want that accelerated because you want to keep that going. You want to keep that ripple effect going. When you're out in the world and you're feeling happy, what happens? You paid for a cup of coffee for the person behind you. I'm feeling happy today. You sit in traffic, you let somebody in. Come on in front of me. I don't mind waiting. Come on, go in front of me. When you're feeling bad, what happens? You're not going to pay for a cup of coffee for you're just in your own little misery. You're not going to let anybody go in front of you in traffic. You're like, no way, I've been sitting here all day. That's negative. This is happy. This is the happy stone, the fire quartz. This sphere is approximately 1,360 carats. Comes with your free whittled stand. And this stand will hold any sphere that we're selling, any size. Anything that has quartz in it, and I try to always be on the positive. Yes, everybody has bad days, along with me. When I'm feeling those bad days, I don't reach for quartz. I let it go. Even rose quartz, I let that all just stay behind till I'm feeling a little more stable in life, till I'm feeling a little more happy, and then I reach for those other stones and I incorporate them back in my life. Okay, so this person, Evie Joan Lee. Hey, you must be a new host. I enjoy listening to you. You have a lot of knowledge about stones. So I am a new host to live TV. I've been doing the live stream for Shop LC for on and off for a couple of years now. I used to do it Friday mornings only. They've created this Tuesday show for me to. This is my jam. This is how I was introduced to Shop LC. They bought merchandise. They bought shungite from me in the Denver show, and they brought me aboard as the gem and mineral expert for the home decor. But I also am a jewelry manufacturer, so I'm on the live TV selling a whole lot of stuff. This is my time slot here on the Tuesdays. Please tune in every week because I'd love to give you information. I'm going to try to do a stone rotation where I'm going to have some paired with a little bit of jewelry, not so much. But I have a lot of cool and groovy stuff coming up over the next few weeks that you've never seen on Shop LC before. So I'm excited to bring that to you. Okay, so this is your fire agate. Comes with the stand. This is Shop 10. Take advantage of it. $22.50 is going to be your price after the live 25. And remember, if you spend more than $50, you get free shipping. Okay, we're going to move on to number 12. So number 12, okay, another piece that I love. Okay, I showed you the polychrome jasper heart also. They're labeling this as multi-jasper freeform. This is polychrome, all right? And this is going to be crazy because, wow, okay. Folks, if you didn't get the heart, get on the phone. I have a little bit over 100 of these. Now, on the web, these are $19.99. After the 25% off, this goes down to $14.99. Bam! That is a great buy. Okay, this is Shop 12. Shop 12 in your comment. And if you need our personal shopper, you have any questions, here the number is right here, 888-835-2237. I wonder if that's backwards on TV. No, right? Okay, 888-835-2237. So briefly, I'm going to tell you about that. That's a personal shopper. They are paid by Shop LC to be your best friend. If you have any questions, if you want to pay for this and ship it to, Sally Mae in California, if you have any questions about certain sizes, quantities, just generalized questions about anything that we sell, call that personal shopper. They can answer all the questions for you. They're very informative, super, super nice. They are your best friends. They are, when I worked for Filene's, which is now out of business, if you wanted a personal shopper, it cost you'd have to spend, I think, $10,000 to have a personal shopper help you. That was just there, to help you shop all the 8 floors in Filene's. This person's sitting at a desk, but they will answer any questions you want. Okay, so this is polychrome jasper. Like I said, it says multi-jasper freeform. This is approximately 1,814 carats. Now, everyone is going to be a little bit off carat weight. Yours could weigh 1,700 carats. Don't lose your mind. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. It might be taller, it might be a little thinner, but roughly they're going to be all around the same carat weight. We have no control because the cutters, when they cut this, they try to give you the best possible color variation. So some are different shapes, but this basically will be just like this. Oval top and a flat bottom that sits on any shelf. Okay, this is shop 12. Polychrome jasper, I'm going to recap real quick. Discovered in 2012, was mined out by 2018. Comes from Madagascar. They found this stone by mining for ocean jasper, which they've now found in other pockets. So ocean jasper is back on the market. Polychrome has not been rediscovered yet. I'm not saying it might not be, but right now they haven't discovered it in the last 6 years. And these prices that we're giving you, this material was brought in from Madagascar about 6 months ago. So that was before all the tariff stuff started, and the prices that are going to be in the future possibly might be more expensive. I know they'll be at least 30% more expensive if they're coming in from a tanker in the last 90 days. So if you're thinking about getting multiples of these, I do have quantity. I have a bit over 100. So you can order multiples if you're thinking about giving them for Christmas gifts. Make sure you get on the phone now. If you buy over $50, you're going to get free shipping also. So that saves you another bunch of money because rocks are really heavy to ship. They're expensive. Shipping, like anything else, is going up and up and up. So take advantage if you want a bunch of these, or even if you want one. Start to add to your collection now because the prices will change in the next few months, I'm sure. So polychrome jasper, this is going to be shop 12. And I'm going to move sort of quickly now because I'm going to try to get to all the stuff in the show. Okay, we are moving on to our mushroom. And this is going to be shop 13. This is $19.99. This is going to be $14.99. So this is going to be, like I said, shop 13. This they're calling multi-jasper. This to me, and I've said this, looks like ocean jasper. So when stuff comes in, a lot of times the warehouse will not know exactly what the specific stone is, but I do because this is my business. So this is an ocean jasper, folks. Out of Madagascar again. If you don't know about the mushroom symbol, this has been the hottest. That Boston is killing me. That accent. I'm trying to change that accent. I just can't get rid of it. It's been the hottest carving shape that's come on the market in the last 6 years. We've always had obelisk, hearts, spheres, stuff like that. The mushroom carving, somehow it came out, somebody did it, and at first I can tell you that it was done in very, very few stones. The carving techniques were not the greatest, but obviously technology, and now it comes in every stone that I sell. Almost every gem decor stone, whether it's labradorite, ocean jasper, polychrome jasper, bumblebee jasper, we have these mushroom shapes. Shop LC has bought a bunch of these. I have, I guess not a bunch. I have 85 total. $14.99 is going to be your price after the 25% off. Ocean jasper was very, very difficult to find in Madagascar. When it was first mined, it was pockets. They had to wait for the tides to go out to get into these walls because it's an island. And Madagascar is a really, really tough terrain. You can pull up pictures. There's some areas that have these crazy trees, but I mean, it is not something you can just go out and walk around and gem hunt. First of all, it's dangerous. We were going to do a trip to Madagascar and it got canceled just because of the danger right now. But great stones are coming out of Madagascar. This is one particular. This mushroom shape, like I said, is something that's been new to the market over the last 6 years. These can withstand putting in your garden if you want to put them in plants, if you want to make a little mushroom array beside a windowsill, or outside. Maybe you have a fountain, maybe you have an area that has a water feature. These can withstand all that, no problem. They're not going to fade in the sun. This stone is a workhorse. It's a great stone for decorative purposes. So I always place, when I do the mushrooms, I always place them in trios. You can buy one, it looks good singly, but when you have two, it looks like there's something missing. Even when photographers take pictures, they usually try to do with still life, not with people, because a couple you can have three. But they usually try to place things in trios because for your mind, you're not focused so much on the single. It just appears better. So if you want to buy three of these and put them in a little arrangement, maybe they'll be a little bit different heights. Everyone is going to be slightly different because remember, these are gemstones that come out of the ground. They're carved. We have no control. Some of them might be shorter. One might be taller. So you might be the lucky one that has three that are entirely different heights, and then you can buy them and just make a little garden series. The mushroom is a sign of rebirth, regeneration, rejuvenation. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. I was in Costa Rica on a birding trip with my dear friend Janice, who is now not among us anymore. And we hiked up into the rainforest at one point to see a mushroom called a wedding veil mushroom. And this part of the mushroom looked like lace. And that mushroom, it spread out and created this beautiful effect of a wedding veil over the stalk. And within 24 hours, that mushroom veil dies. And that's why we were up there to get pictures of it and to see it, because it died after 24 hours. So mushrooms are a sign they grow really fast and then they die really fast. So if you want this particular symbol in your life, it's like a rebirth, a renewal, this is a great piece to have. Ocean jasper, known as multi-jasper. This is I'm going to show you the height. So on here it says XL. This is approximately a little bit over 4 inches tall. So that's pretty hefty for $14.99. I honestly don't know where you could buy something like that for this price. That's incredibly, incredibly cheap. Remember, this has to be mined out of the ground. Then it has to be hand cut and polished. That right there takes hours, and just the polishing is something that takes quite a long time. These are done by expert polishers, expert cutters, and they bring them to you here at Shop LC at such a great price. Hi, Stacy. I see my cousin Patty's watching. Hi, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Just a heads up, I'm going to be doing this show every Tuesday, the same time slot. So if you can watch it, please do. I have some great deals. If on my personal platform, anybody that's watching, if you want to order any of the pieces I'm showing, you need to go to shoplc.com and go in and just go into live streaming or Instagram, Shop LC, and it'll pull up me right now, live time, and you can order right from those two platforms. You cannot purchase from my personal Facebook platform. All right, I have my camera up for my friends and family to see, but you need to purchase it through Shop LC. So $14.99, folks. Super, super great deal. Okay, we're going to move on to our next piece, which is Shop 14. And this is interesting because this is something that I said earlier is mostly quartz. So if you look at this says agate pink flower. So we call this flower agate, The pink color they've named just because this is a slight pink. If I shine a light on the bottom side of this whole stone will illuminate like a warm glow on a candle. It's really, really pretty when you put a light box underneath it. This is once again mined out of Madagascar. This is quartz and flowers that have been encapsulated in this quartz. This is $19.99. The number on this is number 14. So in the comment, if you're interested, type shop 14. And then when it brings you up to the page of quantity and stuff, budget pay, whatever you want, in the promo code, you're going to put live 25, and this is going to bring this flower agate down to $14.99, which is a great deal. You can get an array of stones right here for under $50. If you go over 50, you're going to get free shipping, which is awesome. And any sphere that you buy that I featured on the show, you also get that free whittled stand free of charge. So for every sphere, you'll get a free stand, all right? So that's great savings. And then over 50 free shipping. Stones are expensive to ship. They're costly. They weigh a lot. This is something that that you can get in your house for $14.99. And I'm going to hold it up close. Now, this is flower agate. It has a lot of quartz in it. It has a lot of all. I'm going to call them petrified flowers. It has those patterns, and a lot of them have little teeny flower starbursts, not this big conglomerate. So every single one is going to be different. Remember that. What I'm showing you now is my sample. You might get a little bit bigger piece. You'll be one of the lucky ones. But everyone is going to have great clarity, great color, and a great price, $14.99. And if over 50, you get free shipping. So this is going to be shop 14 on the sheet. And I'm going to move on to our next stone, which is going to be our Kambaba Jasper. So we talked about this earlier. This is Kambaba Jasper. And this is a better example than the sphere that I had. So this is $19.99. This is shop 15 if you're interested. And then you get 25% off, so you would pay $14.99 for this. Now, if you can see those little circles, right, and this is really prominent on this stone. And this is why this is important. So when this stone was formed, those are actually pockets of algae that have been fossilized. All right, so this is a stone that has fossilized algae. They said because of that process, it's some scientific process, begins with CR, some phenotypic blah, 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 some kind of crazy 13-letter word that I couldn't pronounce or read practically. But that process, because of that, this stone has said to create the first oxygen that was ever produced in our world, which is, that's pretty unique right there. $14.99. This comes out of South Africa. It is a cool and groovy stone. Now, the pyramid shape is very significant to gathering energy, and your energy comes out the point, and you ascend to a higher realm. So if you were aware of the pyramids in Egypt, what everybody is, those were built that shape for a reason. The pharaohs, King Tut, all those famous people, through thousands of years ago, they were laid to rest in pyramids. And the pyramids were set up with certain chambers. One chamber might have had all their body that was wrapped and then mummified. And then their organs were placed in those jars around the mummified body. And then in another room might be full of gold. And the other room might be full of animals that are the same thing or had passed on. But they believed that they had all this stuff with them so that when they ascended out the tip of the pyramid to their afterlife, they were going to take all this material stuff with them to another lifetime. Okay, so I've never been to Egypt. One of the countries I can say that, and I've been to a lot of countries. It's very rare I say I haven't been somewhere, but I have not been to the pyramids in Egypt. Every time I was going to travel there was too much trouble. It wasn't safe at the time. But this pyramid shape is very, very significant, and a lot of your gemstones are cut in this shape for that specific reason. That energy goes out the top. When it goes out the top, it just spreads everywhere. It's like a tornado. So this will protect you. This is tied to the heart chakra again, and the root chakra. It's a great stone. It helps you with, what else? What else can I tell you about Kambaba Jasper other than, any stone, I'm thinking of my old brain, any stone that's this color, it connects you to Mother Earth also because you resonate with that green color. That reminds you of forests, trees, fauna everywhere. So this is a stone that connects you also with Mother Earth. That's why I say it's your root chakra grounding stone because you're connected to Mother Earth. Okay, $14.99 on this after the 25% off. And we're going to move on to another great stone that I love in my life. And this is blue calcite. So this would be shop 16, blue calcite. Why do I say I love this stone in my life? Calcite comes in a whole variety of colors. This particular stone is going to be $19.99 on the web, 25% off, brings it down once again to your $14.99. Right in the comment column, this is shop 16. If you're interested, it'll prompt you over to our order page. So, blue calcite, this particular calcite, so it comes in red, green, yellow, blue, I don't really ever see purple, but zebra. So calcite comes in a variety of forms. It is calcite. It's a semi-soft stone. They've ground this up for calcium. They use this in a variety of other stuff, or industrial. But when it's in this particular form, blue especially, is related to your throat chakra. So that gives you the ability to be extremely articulate. Notice how I said that? Articulate. I put that there. It's also a stone that brings you a very calming effect. So if you're very scattered, if you're super high energy, this actually calms you down a little bit. I always equate this stone and I say, it's like your favorite comforter you had in your house that you wrap yourself in on a rainy day and you have to get to binge watch TV. This is the stone that will make you feel that way. This is a stone that should be in a meditation, can be in a bathroom, can be next to a bedside stand where you want to sleep and you want to calm that mind down, get a good night's sleep. This blue calcite will do that all for you. It's a great little piece. It's small enough you can actually hold this as almost a palm stone if you want. So you can put it on a shelf, or you can have this as a palm stone to hold in your hand. If you do meditate, it's a great stone to meditate with. If you own a yoga studio, put these out. Put them in a cube. Let some of your people that come in to meditate and do yoga maybe purchase something like this. $14.99 for this is a great price. And I only have 2 items left, and I'm going to speed through them. I have less than 5 minutes. So this is shop 16, one of my favorites. I love blue calcite. Okay, we're going to go. I have 2 pieces left, and they're both pyrite, so I sort of can speed through them. The first one is going to be your pyrite egg, and that is right here. All right, there's an egg, and look at all that crustation, that beautiful sparkliness on this pyrite. This is going to be shop 17. This egg is $79.99. Whoops. And then when I take the percentage off, it comes down to $59.99. So this brings you over the $50 mark, which means you get free shipping. Plus, it's an egg shape. Easter. What do we equate Easter with? That is rebirth. That's a new era, a new time. Things are being born. Things are transforming. We've just left winter. We've transforming. We bring out our summer and spring clothes. This is good for that. This is something where you are exhibiting change in your life. This egg shape is specifically made for that change. Also, I told you before, pyrite is a money-drawing stone. It's great for luck and prosperity. So if you want some of that in your life, this egg can do it. The last piece that I'm going to show today is also pyrite. And this is our last and final piece. And ooh, do I love this. Okay, I love this. It just shined. Look at that mirror, that mirror, okay? This is going to be shop 17. And the price on this, okay, when I showed you that mirror face on this, the Native Americans found a way to make pyrite and use it as mirrors. This was also used as flint. So when they needed to start a fire, this pyrite had the ability to do that. It's a metal stone. This is mined in Peru. This is $79.99, and I believe this comes out to $59.99 after the 25%. Let me just do that real quick. Yep, $59.99, same price as the egg. This brings you over the $50 mark. I'm going to show you, and there's a little sticker, made in Peru. The Peruvians, they do such a great job. But look at the shine on this, folks. Look at that. And there are your cubical structures. That's what I was talking about. You can actually see the cube forms. When I said pyrite grows as a cubical structure. So there's millions of these little cubes in this piece. Sometimes it grows this size in just a square cube. Much, much more expensive to get that particular. You'll see that in science museums. This is a stone that I have seen lesser quality. It sparked the gold rush in 1840s. I don't even know. I got to look that up. I'm unsure of that particular year, but people were going across the country to become rich in California, and they were finding fool's gold, which is pyrite. What did that spark? Prosperity. Everybody wanted to be a miner. Everybody wanted to be rich. They wanted a better life. And so they equate this stone with bringing prosperity into your life. So if you want any of that in your life, this pyrite is the way to go. It's a great stone. You very rarely find this quality pyrite out there in the real world. Shop LC has gone. So you can see the bottom. That's where it's interesting because it looks like there's a chunk missing. But when you flip it over, see what I'm doing? That's where all that crystalline structure is. So every single one is going to be entirely different. So when you get your pyrite pyramid, it may be different than this. It's going to be the same quality because that's all we buy is the top quality. But it's going to be a pyramid shape. It might be a little wider at the bottom. It might be a little bit higher at the top. But that pyramid shape is the sign for ascension. Gathers up all that stuff and puts it out the point and then tornadoes it out. So prosperity is the way to go with these. If you want a little extra little boost in your life, get a piece of pyrite in there because who knows? You might be one of the lucky ones that wins the lottery. Speaking of, if you go into our regular website on Shop LC, we're running a promotion right now. Every day until the middle of June, we're giving away, so today we gave away a Opatra. So every day we're giving away 2 gifts, a Shop LC gift card for $100 and a gift. Today it was a Opatra device, which is usually over $400 or $500. But at the end of it, at the end of our grand prize until June 25th, which we're going to draw a name, is going to actually win a Rolex watch. So we're giving away a real Rolex watch. At the end of, if you need to enter, do it now. You can enter every single day. You might win a prize every day. You might be that lucky. You might be the Rolex winner at the end. Okay, so every Tuesday I'll be on this platform. Join in. I'm going to have an array of nice stuff. Every single week I'm going to try to rotate. I'm off next week, so I apologize. It's my birthday. I don't apologize for that. But I'll be back the week after that. You can follow me on Magical Journey Cheryl or Cheryl Magical Journey on Instagram or Cheryl Benvenuto on my Facebook page. ShopOnLC.com has a live stream. You can pull up the live stream on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and what's the last platform? Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. TikTok. So we also have 2 live streams during the week, or every day. They run at 10 and 2 p.m., so join in for those. Folks, thanks for taking your 2 hours or whatever. You don't even care if it's 5 minutes. Thanks for joining me here at Shop LC, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Everybody, make the best of every day. Have a good time. You only live once. And my tagline is, don't fade away. Shine bright like a diamond. Thanks so much, folks. I'll see you again. Bing, bang, boom. All right. Good stuff. Okay. Yeah, I talked to Jennifer about bringing in some other stuff.